Genius and I apply my wisdom. I am a genius and I apply my wisdom. Are you a genius?
Too right, I am.
Okay, do you apply your wisdom?
Yes.
What is your motto? What is your number one statement, Ian?
Uh,
I am a chiropractor.
I'm a chiropractor on a level the world's never seen, all for the glory of God.
Woo! Okay.
I'm anointed to be one.
Okay, do you want to say that again?
I'm anointed to be a chiropractor on a level the world's never seen, all to the glory of God.
Yes.
I do God's work through my hands.
3, 2, 1, yes.
Yes.
So, guys, welcome aboard. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. But let's face it, we've been doing something different all week. Hello, Claire. Hello, Cara. Hello, all of you. And Instagram over here. Let's just pray that the angels of technology will take good care of us, because I had a bit of a blow up yesterday, didn't I? And I'm not sure how I got through it.
Major work on the computer.
But yeah, we thought we lost everything on my computer. So I literally did not even process that. I decided, no, I'm not going to think about all of the intellectual property that I have lost. And then followed by nobody could hear me when I turned up. Followed by my live stream disappeared. So go figure, guys. But anyway, if you are here, hello, Sally. Hello to all you beautiful people. If you are here today, we're going to be doing something different. And, you know, Terry loves doing things differently, because we're going to be, you know, bringing answers to questions. And Anthony Robbins says it very well. He says that the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your questions. Yay! Give us a 5. Woo! Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Who's ready to find out what your legacy is? Now, I just want to let you know that I have reached out to my community. You know who you are. And I have asked you to position some questions that are going to change your life. Now, if we do not get to your question today, I want you to know that next week we will be returning. And I think that some of the questions that we will read today, which Dr. Ian will read, will really inspire you. Because imagine if you had the right question to ask about anything in your life. You know, what is it that's going to take me to the next level? What do I need to do in my business to explode from the ground up? What will change my whole life around in my health and my billion-dollar energy if I do this one thing? Now, you see these questions, they kind of provoke answers, don't they?
I do.
Yeah.
See, one of the ones we get fairly often is, I've done a lot of transformation, but I need something to help me to go to the next level in my business or my life.
Okay, can you just read that again, please? Sorry.
I've done a lot of transformation, but I need something to help me in my business and my life. Do I need to do more transformation?
Okay, guys, can I ask you, I'm going to ask a question back to that person. I think she was anonymous, or he, and we will keep your questions anonymous if you choose to do so. If you're happy for us to say your name, I'm happy to call out your name. Now, the question I have is, if you bought yourself a brand new, what's your favourite car, Ian?
Toyota Land Cruiser.
Of course,
Alexa Land Cruiser would be better.
Alexa Land Cruiser. Let's just go. Okay, so me, it's a convertible Mercedes, a black, slick, sexy baby, right? Now, if we bought ourselves that car and you had a Lexus, we probably wouldn't even want to park it out the front, right? Would we want to just park next to an old bomb in a shopping centre? Would we drive it into the ground? Would we never put petrol in it? Would we never put oil in it? I mean, this is the question I've got for you. I mean, people don't realize that their internal physical body and their mind is their greatest asset. Like, you can have a mansion, you can have the best car in the world, you can have the best clothes. Turn your phone off, please. You can have all of the above. But if you don't have the best life, if you don't have the healthiest body, How are you going to do it? So my first answer to this person is, are you prepared to be on a continual journey of transformation? Because the question would be, how great do you want to be? And really, if you want exponential success, and I do hear where you're coming from, because a lot of people say, oh, I've done so much transformation, I've done so much energy work. Well, let me just explain to you something. Like back in 2006, when Dr. Ian actually introduced me to neuro-linguistic programming, it changed my life. In fact, we were talking about all the teachers and in the history that we'd done together. And I was saying to him how I have a memory, because we were going back to all my teachers. A lot of them were male. And one of the experiences that happened in the class, and I'll never forget it, it's like so many years ago, 15 going on 16 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He asked me to get up in front of the class. I was a bit nervous. Remember, I don't know anything about anything with this stuff. I'm there because I'm kind of having a breakdown in my life. My marriage had busted up, all the things. But I'd also had a history, like everyone else, of a lot of stuff that had gone on. He asked me, and I did a bit of a training the other day on the board about the 3 significant emotional events. Now, what he did was, in front of the class, he got me to step it out. I didn't need to tell him about these 3 significant emotional events, but I walked out all of the 3 significant emotional events, and anyone went back to the one that I perhaps didn't even remember, where it was before time. And he stepped me through, and what he did was he collapsed it. And even though there was only 3, it collapsed probably 33,000, like however many there was to actually collapse. So what he'd done is he was able to clean up. It was like what would you call them, Ian? Like to hold a roof up, like the weight-bearing walls. Yeah, so you're knocking out what is the leverage and what's been there, and then all of that happens. So I was a transformed person from that day. Like, it literally happened in 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like the actual technique. See, what we're doing this week is we're training people. We're telling you about the master keys, and we're doing a lot of talking. But when you come into the portal of where we actually do the techniques, it's fast, it's rapid, and you make change at the speed of light. So getting back to your question, the transformation that you are making, like if you're having an issue, for example, in your business, right? So you cannot change something on the same level as where you are now. And hi, Shelley from the US. There's Shelley. We can see some people, but only if you are registered with StreamYard. So you cannot change yourself at the same level. So even if you've transformed your life to this person, and you've done so much transformation, the simple fact is, if you need to break through into your most successful business and you want to perhaps break through to the next 6 figures, 7 figures, or wherever you're going, you need to do an ongoing transformation to really help you transform your money, your service, and become the #1 dominator voice in your field. And when I say that, this is without any competition. You want to be, we'll talk more about that later, but that would be my answer.
See, with the people that might have translated, they might have been help with that, they might have done from self-help books and things like that. But on what level? The thing is that, as Terry said, she went right back and cleared something she didn't even remember. And what happens when we do the Find Your Genius Zone is you go right to the base, right to where it is, where your whole life comes from. And if you start from there and transform there and work there, collapse everything above it, you're so much further in front. So the thing is that you might have done a lot of transformation, but more on a higher superficial level. If you can start from the bottom, collapse light, and work your way up, you go. But as Terry said, if you've got a good car, you still got to maintain it. And what she was just touching on there was you cannot correct a problem on the level it was created. You've got to go to the next level to be able to correct it. So the thing is, you need to be able to go up and keep going up with it.
I've just had a question come through, and I want to say it's a very good question, and we're going to bring that probably next week. But it's from a lady, and she's in Perth, and she talks about being an introvert. Guys, I bring people out of their shell. Some of the greatest introverts, or some of the greatest people, we are both introverts. You wouldn't believe that, but would you agree, Ian?
Yep.
I'm an introvert, okay? But we will get to that question. We'll get through the list that we've got here. So next question, Ian.
So what do you suggest to get to the next level?
What do I suggest to get to the next level? Okay, so this is the reason why we've created the Master Key, because, you know, I believe, and this is because it's a formula that I have founded, being the Master Key, I believe, and I'm going to ask you this question. Do you believe that you need a body in order to be great in the first place, like a body?
Yes.
Okay.
If you're not here, you're not here.
You're not here, you're not here. Okay, great. Do you believe that your health and your energy play a big part in that?
Definitely. We're like a two-way radio. We put out a frequency. Now, a two radio puts out a set frequency and receives back from a set frequency. And if your frequency is down, if you're with negative and everything else, that's what you're going to attract. If you're higher, you attract the higher frequency. So what you need is you need your health, you need your vitality, you need the energy to keep increasing your frequency so you keep increasing to a different level.
Yeah. Exactly. It goes back to the first question. You know, really, I know a lot of people, like when I first was running Create Nights, remember the Create Nights? And people would be just like walking out, you know, like 3, 2, 1, yes.
Or pre-COVID.
And, you know, it was just the most highest inflammable, energetic, and people would invest every single week to do that. And, you know, really having the enthusiasm and the passion is going to be an absolute prerequisite, along with, you know, not just your enthusiasm, which comes from your energy, which is Master Key 1, but also being able to dissolve a lot of your trauma with relationships and with some of the thinking and the ideas that you have got around, oh, what will people think if I say this? Like, what will people think if I show up on my personal profile? Like, this is really bold, you guys, like for us to be here on the personal profile for the world to see, because usually we kind of go into the group, but there is a reason that we've done this, and not even my team know the reason, apart from me, and there might be one person in the world, but watch my stories and you'll get to hear about that. It's very private, but there is a very good reason why we've decided to do this. Getting to the point of that question, you need to dissolve your, you know, those relationship traumas, those ideas about, you know, like being the fraud, being the imposter syndrome, being not good enough, not being able to show up, shrinking yourself back, and or being competitive. That's a really big one. Like, you know, when you feel threatened by another person because they may steal away from you, that is a very shrinking mindset. Never, you know, the best thing you can do when you see someone that is absolutely killing it, like I had someone in my community today, and I did a question on Voxer, and the question is, and I'm sure that this is going to help people anyway, and I'm going to share this question. I said to them, what is your most favorite environment? Like, where are you when you come to life? Like, are you in the beach? Are you in like a theme park? Are you walking through a rainforest? Are you on this beautiful exotic holiday? Are you, you know, on a beautiful lake where there's beautiful sands and you're enjoying the sunshine? Are you in the snowy mountains? Like, what is your ideal environment? And what is it that you are doing that is setting you apart from, from just the noise of the world, and really authentically bringing out the absolute, the one and only you? This is where no competition. There's no competition because there's only one of you. Who are you serving? With your product, with your service, like, who is it that you're speaking to, and what is it? And you know what? I got a voice message. I asked the question. I audioed the message on Voxer late last night. I then put the question and I positioned the question. And then I had a lady come back. I won't say her name because in case she doesn't want me to say it, but one of my members in the Elite Crown came back and she blew us away. She began talking about, lighting candles by the fireplace at night in her cottage, about taking walks in the moonlight, swimming naked in a beautiful crystal clear waters. And I just went into that place and I went, boom, you've got to speak to your audience in pictures, visions, and you've got to be able to do something that's going to set you apart. I can't remember what the point was, but I'll let you get on with the next question.
With basic foundations, the Genius Zone and the Master Keys, what actually inspired you to create the Master Keys?
What inspired me to create the Master Keys? Look, guys, I think there's a really good, I'd love to share this answer because I believe there's a lot of overthinkers, and I believe I've definitely been an overthinker. And an overthinker is a person that's just thinking so much about everything they want to achieve, and they're pushing towards it, whether it is for that they're thinking about having that baby, or they're thinking about making that program, or they're thinking about what they're going to do to make something happen. And while they're overthinking everything, they're losing the magic. So the way that the Master Key was downloaded, and I will say it was downloaded to me, was not just in a thinking space. It was given to me, I believe, by my guides, my angels, and it was given to me in a very clear and concise space, probably when I wasn't thinking about it. It's amazing, and this is a law of manifestation. It is amazing that you will manifest the things in your life that you truly want when you let go of the desperation that you have of wanting it, because that desperation sends out a frequency of...
It kills it. It kills everything.
It sends a frequency of loss. It has a frequency of, and that then, because it's a transmitter radio, goes out to the universe and it returns to you as a self-fulfilled prophecy. So the Master Key evolved over time, where it was naturally downloaded to me. It came to me, and when it did, may have come to me in a dream, but I know that the inspiration of the Master Key was the actual proven fact of all the people that I had worked with and what I'd actually seen happen in their lives. Like you've seen a couple of people when we were in clinic. So maybe you can give some examples.
It comes back to that first question on the what can do for the business life. One businessman came in, and it was in January. So it was only 5 months before the end of the financial year. He says, I'm making 78,000. By the end of the financial year, I want to make 220. So Terry did a lot of work with him, and the end of the financial year, he just about fell over when it was all added up as 1.2 million. From 78,000 to 1.2 million in 5 months. He then got her to do a seminar with his administration, a lot of his workers, and it went both ways. A couple of Americans, no, not in for this. A lot of them went there and grew with it. And today you can find his crews and his trucks and his equipment all over Perth.
They're driving around everywhere. But, I'll tell you a funny thing that's a little bit negative, actually. He came into me after I'd run a seminar, because what obviously we're doing is we're fast tracking. Now, Do you believe in a slow, long, painful death? Or do you think, like, now when I say that, killing me softly, like, when a person's suffering, I'm not talking about actually death as in when we part ways and transition into the next way in the next world, but the way that we transition between situations, like we might be in a job, for example, where it is so painful, where people are so unhappy and they're so miserable that it's actually impacting their whole life. So they'll come home grumpy, they'll be affected because of a place that they're investing more of their time. Like Ian, you're lucky. Ian works about 3 afternoons a week?
Yeah,
he works between 2 and 6, 3 days a week. And I this is what I do, and this is not a job, this is my calling. So obviously this is something that is so divinely powerful, but it's enabled Ian to do that. And of course, because over the years we've made our 7 figures, we've reached 7 figures in clinic, and we can do that now without being actually having to really be so nailed down to a 9-to-5 job where there's a lot, like even in clinic, there was always the worries behind the scenes. There was the administration and the things that would do our heads in.
So your focus wasn't where your focus wasn't where you wanted to go. Like, I'm a chiropractor, as I say, anointed to be the best. I'm not a businessman. I'm hopeless businessman.
That's okay. He's admitting his downfall.
So, and that's the first thing you got to say. You've got to work out who you are, what you can do, what you can't, and you get people to fill in the gaps where you can't.
And know the difference.
Okay? And know the difference. And the thing is that, if you have to put your visions and what you want and everything in the positive, and a lot of people that are looking for things, so I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be fat, I don't want to be this. The subconscious mind does not hear that you don't want it.
I don't want to be broke.
Sick, broke, fat, whatever. What you got to do is got to be wealthy. I've got to be rich. I've got to be health. Trim, taut, terrific. Everything has to be put in the positive, because that's the frequency, like I say about that two-way radio. And if you're desperate, you're thinking of everything you don't want, and so that's. Whereas if you lose that desperation and you sit back and be who you are, have what you've got, and concentrate on one thing. Now, anything you want to do, people. One of the questions that comes through is, where do I stand out in a sea full of other people doing like things? So what you do is you have to stand out by being yourself, being exactly concentrate on one thing. You don't want to, one thing. You don't want to concentrate on all these other things. You don't want to take the world at once. You've got to concentrate on one thing, be a master in it, study it, live it, be it, and do it.
Yeah. Be the number one, like Bruce Lee. You want to say the Bruce Lee story? Like, it's just a quick one, but you say it better than me.
Well, Bruce Lee, he basically said that within 10 years he's going to be a Hollywood star, and he done it. And he's always said that I'm not afraid of a man who's practiced 100 kicks, has had 10,000 kicks. He says, I'm dead frightened of the bloke that's practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is that it's no use being a master of everything and like a slave of everything and master of none. You've got to be the master of what you want to do.
Master of one.
One there. Master, be there and do it, and that there. And when you do that, you find that your energy you put out attracts those people, right? Because in chiropractic, there's a low back problem that you can get. And I'd say when I first started out, I would have said there was probably a quarter to a third of the population, right? And I worked on those people. And now I'd say it's 90% of the population, because I help people in that one thing. I help people in the whole body and everything else. But with that one thing that I do, people come to me because the energy's out there. That's what I do. And now I'd say that everyone who comes in the door's got that problem.
People, his
Along with
clients, his patients get very fretful about his age, and they're like, "Oh, you're not going to retire on us." But that's, I think, a lot of the reasons that Ian is working 3 half days, apart from the fact that he's very called to his legacy. And I don't believe that anyone really ought to retire. I believe you've always got to have your God-given, soul-aligned purpose. And whether that is that you're at home, like my mother, for example, is a great example. So she's in her 80s, right? But she is at home, and she is like me. She geeks out on her, on Christianity, on philosophies, on wellness, and all those elements. And then she runs like little groups where she can inspire the world. My father in his 80s, and sorry, Dad, for telling people your age. I know you don't like it. Ouch. I hope he doesn't watch this. But he is still maintaining his status in real estate in a much more, sophisticated way, and in a way that he can pick and choose what he does. But he still keeps his mind active. And so I feel that is so important. But talking about the slow, painful death and the funny story, on the Monday after I had run a business workshop, the guy came in and said, "What on earth have you done to everyone?" I said, "Well, what do you mean?" "Well, this person's resigned. This person's been fired by my admin team. Well, this person has suddenly come out and we've promoted him now to the top." And he's telling me catastrophic things, and he's telling me very great things. But I must admit, you couldn't help sort of focusing on all the people that had either left or they'd got. But what had happened is, if you've got, this is like the complete psychology. When you're going to counselling, it may take you 5 years, 10 years to break a trauma, right? Now, what in this sector, what it was doing is, instead of them being in this long, drawn out, unhappy role where they weren't really a good fit, they all found their destiny and had that, quick. So I said to him, what you've done is you fast tracked the long, slow misery. So instead of it being a long, slow misery and everybody being resentful and all the rest of it, I know I'm focusing on the negative here, it was cut short because people were able to tap in.
The ones that could went and grew, the dead wood left. And so what could you want?
And I mean, for the man himself who invested in all his people, as Ian says, we see his cars all over the road today. But anyway, have we got any more questions? I know we've got a couple of great questions coming in from a lady in Perth, and we will bring those questions next week. Is the master key a chronological kind of a concept? And the other is about, what do I do, if I am an introvert and I want to really stand out? And look, can I just say to everyone, if you have a question, can you please private message them to us so we can write your questions down? We've got questions here from our community. Position your question with power, something you really want to understand. And I think just to finalise today...
Well, one of the things was, how everyone asks, how do you teach?
How do I teach? Okay, is that what's... How do I teach? Okay, that's a left field question. Okay, can I just answer? I'll answer and then I'll let you take over again. I said it in Voxer this morning. I believe things are caught better than they're taught. So this has got a lot to do with being who you are, immersed in. So when people are in my Voxer chat, every day they're getting transmissions. It's like, what's happening today, guys? What are you doing to, blow the lid off your life? Are you out there creating stories? Are you making reels? What is it that you're doing? And then I'll share a transmission about what I suggest. So I guess I teach from that. And what I'm hearing is that Voxer is the best thing since sliced bread, because it keeps people on the day-to-day down low, and yet they're not having to be in any place. It's not like they're having to be somewhere every day at a certain time. It is a very, it's just a flowing kind of thing, like a walkie-talkie. And so that is a great transmission. The other transmission is, and this is part of the reason I'm coming on my personal profile, I have been convicted. Conviction is such a great thing, because when you get convicted, it means that you may get absolutely kind of like wiped out with guilt or whatever it is, or some kind of an agonizing kind of a battlefield within. But usually, like Anthony Robbins says, is that, a breakthrough comes after a lot of confusion. And my conviction has definitely been in whom I'm actually helping, whom I'm actually speaking to, because I've been helping many people for many, many years, and every single person, it's about legacy. And this leads me to say that every single person on this planet does have the right to fan into flame the legacy, whether that is for your family, in your business, in your service as a teacher, when you are teaching in the class. And really the way that I teach is, I believe that it is caught better than it's taught. And I really feel that when we're doing a lot of the techniques, which that's the next thing. I'm going to now be inviting people into the Master Key Quest. So who wants to know about the Master Key Quest? That is $55. $55, you guys. Wow. Okay, so the Master Key Quest, this is attached to the vision that I have for the Legacy 1 million. And this is not $1 million. This is 1 million people. Now, a lot of you that are watching, and I do say hello to everyone as you are chiming in. We've got lots and lots of foundation people. So if you've been a part of my world where you've come in and you would be familiar with the Master Keys, or some of them, or maybe all of them, then you are part of my million legacy. And when you get to that level where you are so transformed, you've broken through, exponentially, so that you can come into your preeminence. Now, I know I'm talking like some of my mentors, some of my greatest mentors, which we were going to cover today, and I think Ian would like to. But first, I want to invite you into this Master Key Quest. The Master Key Quest will be where you are held in a portal where you will do the training. So the master keys that we've done all week, I'm still deciding as to whether I will keep them up or take them down, because the training is probably where most of the grooming and teaching is done, right? So getting back to that question of teaching. However, when we go into the portal, we are going in over 2 days. It'll be toward the end of August. We're going to pin down the 2 days once we have all the members, so we can look at the time zone and have it so that you can be there. Now, once you come into the portal, you will have already received immediately a meditation that is going to move through transforming and helping you to receive the downloads that you require to break through the level. It'll be a DIY though, a specific meditation that you'll receive with a workbook and an ebook, and you will have this while you are moving through. And it's almost like going on a holiday. You know, when you go on a holiday and you've got to get all the things, you've got to get your passport and you've got to pack your bags, and you've got to, you've got to know the destination, whether you're going to Hawaii or a tropical island or Europe, and you've got to pack for it and you've got to prepare for it. And if you're going to tropical island where it's exotic and warm and balmy, you're not going to be packing jumpers and coats, right? But then if you're going to the snowy mountains where it's fresh and chilly, you're not going to be taking bikinis. So what you're doing is you are actually, what are you smiling about?
Well, some crazy Russians that get their bikinis and swim in the ice and
you know, we've got a lot of Russian friend, and you said that he's so inappropriate, my husband. Bang, whack. Okay, you can always trust him to come out with something. Look, you're blushing now. You've gone red. Okay, so now to just, move back. So you require to pack your bags and have everything ready so that when you go on your destination, guess what, guys? You can just enjoy, because inside we'll do all the training and the preparation. You'll do DIY that, because this is part of my way of teaching that I've discovered over 16 years is the best. You get yourself ready, prepared. I'll give you the right answers, questions. $55, right, will entail you to have all of that. Be on the 2-day Zoom and immerse into this beautiful techniques where we're just flying through everything. But when you're prepared, you've packed the right clothes, you've got the right stuff, you are going to move like lightning, right? Now, some people are going to want to go one step further, and we are offering a next level, which is the upgrade for $97 to be in Voxer. So while you're waiting to jump into the vortex of the Zoom and do the 2-day, we will be doing daily transmissions. Like, what can I say? Here's a daily transmission. I'll give you an example. What was the sort of daily transmissions? What action are you taking today? Are you making sure that you are transforming and transferring your energy and enthusiasm? Like, because I'm dealing with people that are on the business spectrum, right? Are you telling your story and bringing it to life? Are you being able to be out there and so crystal clear about who you are speaking to, what your divine product service is, that people will want to be in your vortex? And guys, let's do 3 deep breaths, and we'll do it right now, and let's anchor this in so that you will go and do it. 3, 2, 1, breathe in, anchor. Woo! Okay, all right. So I think we'll leave the rest of the questions, Ian, for next week.
Just one thing I want to say, but there's an old saying from way back that an overnight success takes 15 years. Now, it doesn't need to. And what happens is with what Terry's developed here, you short circuit a lot of those pieces, things you need to take 15 years. But what she's created is a set of tools. Now, I was taught an electrician before I was a chiropractor. I had tools for this, tools for that, tools for everything else. And they didn't do bugger all till I picked them up and used them. Okay, so
that's a good point.
So when we you come and do any of the courses with Terry and the stuff we're doing, you get the tools and you practice, you use them until it becomes part of you. The tools are not going to do anything unless you do something with it. And yes, what she's going to do is going to short circuit and cut out a lot of the stresses and everything else of trying to develop a business to go where you want to go and the
fast
time
track.
And you can fast track everything. But
cut through the red tape.
It cuts through everything, but it's not going to work unless you actually do it.
Yeah.
She's not going to give you a thing and say, here's what you do, and you're going to go out and do it and do that. You've still got to work, you've still got to earn it. See, the world does not owe you a living.
The universe
owes you a living.
Yeah.
And it gives you the world to go out and earn it and get it. Okay? But the thing is, you've still got to earn it and get it. You use the tools to go there to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I'll go through and show some of the things that Terry's done over the years. I went back to school at 34 to do it my TAE to go study to be a chiropractor, right? The thing is that I've seen a lot of real conscious people who study all the time and stuff like that, and they're rank amateurs. I reckon in the first 10 years, and even still, she would have done 30 years worth of study.
I've told them that. I tell them I geek out. They know it.
It never stops, right? And so the thing is, she's always developing that, and the amount that is invested in what she does is absolutely amazing. You'll be amazed and shocked by it. But the thing is that you've got to make that investment. If you want to be someone ahead, you've got to make that investment, and you've got to use the tools to get there.
I think that's a good point.
We can help you fast track.
Yeah, I have had people that just come to me for transformation, like they don't have real big aspirations to go out there and be success activators. Like I'm a success activator, and I'm an activist, and so and I'm an introvert. So I'm definitely going to say that, and. You know, I can't wait to talk about the introverts next week on our Q&As, and send through your questions again. But really what it comes down to, guys, is that you've just got to have the authenticity because the secret sauce that's inside you is your radical self-expression. So if you're a bit crazy and weird like Ian and I, then be a bit crazy and weird, right? But anyways, look, we want to round this up. So I'm going to ask Sally if she will drop the sales page. Now, can I just tell you, this is not a sales page. It is a very basic, I mean, it's only $55, so I wasn't going to spend $3,000 on a sales copy for you. Sorry. But wouldn't you just rather jump in the vortex, get the real techniques? And as Ian says, a lot of people will come for transformation, but really you will transform, and whatever you have released and let go of and biohacked, that's not going to come back again. But life happens. You'll always be dealing with life. So the difference is what you do after. So we prepare you to go out in the world and be a master of your destiny. But the sales page, I believe, Sally, thank you very much, my gorgeous, wonderful lady. Hello, Angela. Hello, everybody, as you're all jumping on. Lots of ladies today. I wonder if the men are watching. I know there's lots of men watching because I get lots of, I've been getting lots of messages from everyone, and I've never had so many people thanking me when I have been offering you some resources in private messenger. So that goes for even people that I don't know. So you obviously are liking this content, but that I won't call it a sales page. It is a it's a sign up. It's a way for you to simply click into it and say yes. And if you do want to go on the upgrade for 97, so it's 55 with everything I've told you, it's 97 where immediately you'll go into an upgrade into a Voxer where you get the daily transmission. So you're getting all of that every day, and it just at a flow. So it's like a one-on-one coaching tool, really, but you are in that portal of an aligned group on a walkie-talkie chat. So go ahead, make your decision if this is for you. We will be coming back next week with more Q&A because I cannot believe how much has come through, and there's so much more. So we will be bringing more transmissions, more power, more energy. 3, 2, 1, let's yay energy, and much love to you. Anything to say before we go, Ian?
No, that's it.
Okay, toodles. Ciao.